Mercury. Mercury is the first in the solar system and the smallest in size. From the first moment you think about approaching it, you will encounter intense solar radiation. Because Mercury is only 58 million kilometers away from the Sun, and therefore it receives solar energy that is 7 times greater than that of Earth, there is no atmosphere to dampen these rays, just a weak exosphere. The result is that your body will be directly exposed to a flood of ultraviolet rays and solar wind particles that penetrate cells and quickly destroy DNA. If it happens to land on it, Mercury is the only planet that combines the hell of the day and the ice of the night. On the side facing the Sun, the temperature rises to 430 degrees Celsius, which is higher than the temperature of an industrial furnace that melts iron. On the dark side, the temperature drops to 180 degrees below zero, as one day takes 59 Earth days due to slow rotation, which means that if you stand during the day, you will not see at night until after 2 months until the glass line, which is the area between day and night, is not safe. It is true that its temperature may be between -50 and 50, but it is a transitional zone that constantly moves with the planet's rotation. In addition, the surface of Mercury is full of huge craters, such as the Caloris crater, which has a diameter of more than 1,500 kilometers. Let us not forget the lack of oxygen and water, and there is no spacesuit that can withstand these conditions because the temperature limits only reach 121 degrees Celsius. As for the maximum coldness of the suit, it is -157 degrees Celsius, meaning that the suit will lose its function and the compressed air inside it will freeze or expand to explode. Venus. Venus is similar to Earth in size and gravity, and is approximately 40 million kilometers away from it. But the temperature in it is very high, approximately 450 degrees, due to its thick atmosphere, which is composed of 69% of dioxide, carbon. The journey to its surface passes through clouds of sulfuric acid, and exposure to them means corrosion of any metal or suit in a short time. Very much, and inhaling it means instant death. And let us say that you have a suit capable of isolating gases, you will not survive for long, because the biggest problem is the enormous pressure, which is equivalent to 90 to twice the Earth's pressure, and that's enough to crush you in seconds. The surface is dark and stifling, blocking more than 90% of the sun's rays, so the sky appears dark and yellow. The dense atmosphere makes movement slow, as if you are walking under the ocean, while hurricanes blow in its upper layers at speeds of up to 360 miles per hour, kilometers per hour. One day there is equivalent to 243 Earth days, which means that the deadly conditions do not stop. Death on Venus is certain. Whether the pressure will crush you, the heat will melt you, or the acid gases will tear your suit, there is no oxygen to breathe, and no vehicle or human suit can withstand for minutes. Mars. Mars is the planet most similar to Earth, but you will die unless you are inside a fortified base. During the day, the temperature may reach 20 degrees Celsius, but as the sun sets, it suddenly drops to 130 degrees below zero, which makes your body freezes in minutes. The atmosphere is almost non-existent. It is very thin and most of it is carbon dioxide, and Mars has such low pressure that it makes your body fluids begin to boil before they freeze, so you cannot live outside it for a moment. This cover does not protect you from the deadly rays of the sun or from space rays, as radiation levels there are tens of times higher than on Earth, sufficient to damage cells and destroying the body. Mars is also plagued by huge dust storms that may cover the entire planet for weeks. It does not kill you with its direct force, but it blocks the sun and disables any energy source, so you plunge into darkness and deadly cold. Any attempt at survival requires a tightly closed base that maintains internal pressure, shields against radiation, and systems for producing oxygen and water and energy. Otherwise, the fate is certain death by freezing or by pulmonary explosion due to the difference in pressure or radiation. Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet 300 times more massive than Earth, and its gravity is 2.5 times that of Earth, which this means that your weight will increase in a terrifying way. Any fall will be fast enough to crush you immediately, but before you reach its deep layers, you will be met with a massive torrent of radiation. The levels there are tens of times higher than the endurance capacity of the human body or any vehicle. Jupiter does not have a solid surface to stand on, but rather is a liquid and gas giant of hydrogen and helium. If we imagine that you have transcended the radiation and penetrated its atmosphere, you will encounter continuous storms and dense clouds of ammonia and sulfur in its upper layers. The temperature is approximately 150 degrees Celsius below zero, and the wind speed reaches 482. But as it descends further, the temperature and pressure rise to impossible levels, until gases such as hydrogen transform into a state of strange thing called metallic hydrogen, a shiny liquid that conducts electricity. There is nothing that can survive or function in those conditions. A storm known as the Great Red Spot also dominates, and it is larger than the Earth itself, rotating at tremendous speed and for centuries, continuous. There is no oxygen to breathe, no protection from radiation, and no surface to settle on, and each layer carries a different danger from the other. Saturn is one of the most beautiful planets you can see from afar, but in reality it is one of the most violent environments. The first danger you face before arriving is its moons. More than 140 moons, including Titan, which is almost larger than Mercury, which makes simply entering the orbit of Saturn a deadly adventure because the probability of colliding with one of these objects. Then come the rings that look like a heavenly decoration, but are actually billions of fragments of ice, rocks and dust at high speeds. It is enormous, reaching thousands of kilometers per hour, and passing through it means almost certain collapse. And if you escaped it and entered the envelope, you would not find air, but rather a toxic gas of hydrogen and helium. The hellish winds revolve around the entire planet at a speed of 1,800 kilometers per hour. At the North Pole, a unique sight awaits you, a giant hexagonal vortex large enough to swallow two Earth-sized planets. With every landing, the disaster begins, freezing temperature reaching 250 degrees below 0 Celsius. The pressure here exceeds the Earth's deepest oceans by thousands of times, and gases turn into deadly liquids. At this stage, your body disintegrates within seconds, even if you are protected by a legendary shield. Until you reach the heart of the planet, you will find a huge rocky metallic core 10 times larger than Earth, surrounded by a temperature equal to 11,700 degrees Celsius and a pressure equivalent to 1,000 times the Earth's pressure. Enough force to completely crush the planet Earth. Uranus. Uranus is one of the ice giants in the solar system, and it is considered the only planet that rotates on its side at an angle, slanted approximately 98 degrees. It rotates faster than the Earth, so a day there does not exceed 17 Earth hours. But approaching it is dangerous, as even its rings, the dim hole, is filled with fragments of rock and ice moving at deadly speeds, just like bullets. As for its atmosphere, it is a toxic mixture of methane and ammonia, and its temperature quickly drops to 200 below zero. As you dive deeper into Uranus, the pressure increases dramatically, reaching 100 times the Earth's pressure, enough to crush any normal body. Under this pressure, methane molecules break apart, releasing carbon and condensing to form diamond crystals. These crystals fall in the form of rain of diamonds, due to strong winds whose speed reaches 900 kilometers per hour, transforming the weather turned into a deadly storm of solid gemms. It is also believed that there are strange oceans of hot water that remain liquid only, due to the enormous pressure that prevents them from boiling. From a distance, Uranus appears to be a calm blue dot, but up close it is a silent cosmic trap, deadly cold, toxic gases, strong winds. The pressure crushes anything that comes close to it. Neptune. Neptune is the second of the ice giants after Uranus, and the farthest of the planets in the solar system from the Sun. As it is located at a distance of 30 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun, this dimension makes it immersed in extreme darkness and cold in its outer layers, while deep within it lies tremendous heat reaching about 7,000 C due to the large internal pressure. It also rains diamonds, as methane gas is exposed to tremendous pressure, which leads to the disintegration of its molecules. As for the atmosphere itself, it witnesses strong winds, the strongest in the solar system, at speeds exceeding the speed of sound. There is no solid surface, but endless layers of compressed gases and liquids into which you sink until the terrible pressure crushes you. Despite its amazing differences, Neptune remains so similar to Uranus that it has been described as its distant twin in the outskirts of space.